He tried to get you to believe that Snoop Dogg didn't own and control the new Death Row based on the analogy of an Eddie Murphy movie. No facts, no documentation, but as to the comparison of an Eddie Murphy movie. You can't make this shit up. Let's get into some of this straight game.
Yeah. Blackjack. Life is like a game of cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Yeah. Blackjack. To play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button notification as it helps push the content out to more potential subscribers, as well as the people who have already subscribed to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so right now and tell a friend. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and hit that bell notification right below this video. Very much appreciated. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you these facts. Just recently, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and Gullible John over at Bomb First, tried to explain to the world, or better yet, lied to you once again, and basically stating that Snoop Dogg was a front man for the new Death Row, and that Snoop didn't actually own Death Row. Right? Here's the video that they did this, the video, a snippet of that, right? And I want you to understand, there was no proof given. There were no facts given. And the analogy that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and Gullible John tried to pass over on you as some type of factual information, the analogy that they gave and the proof that they would try to give you that Snoop was not, in fact, as he is, in fact, the owner of Death Row Records and the music catalog, is the fact that an Eddie Murphy movie. This was the analogy that was given to the viewers, right? Trying to deceive you once again in reference to what Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. believed versus what he could prove to you. Listen to this.
And if we believe, I don't personally believe that Snoop owns Death Row, how we believe it. I think he's just a top level front head management. If y'all ever watch Eddie Murphy and Boomerang.
An Eddie Murphy movie.
In that show where I remember Eddie Murphy had sex with the old lady when she thought she was running the show or the owner of the company. And Robin Givens told him, man, you crazy. You had sex with that old lady. You thought that was going to get you down. She ain't been a figurehead. She just the front. She just the face of the company. She ain't.
An Eddie Murphy movie.
She ain't got no say-so over here. That's how I really believe Snoop's position is, where we all think he's the front of the new Death Row.
Oh, we all think he's the front. So you really don't know. But we think he's the front. But you said that he is. But watch this careful Monday morning quarterback move when he catches himself.
But, where he's just the front. But he don't make no decisions behind the door or behind the scenes.
An Eddie Murphy movie, y'all. I need you to digest that, because once again, these are the tactics. These are the weak tactics that they've been trying to pull over on YouTube viewers for years. Right? Using, calling Snoop names, saying he's not the owner, trying to talk about his personal life and all of these things. And the number one reason Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Is doing this, number one, is because he's jealous of Snoop and his success. Bottom line. right? His attempts to try to bring people to talk about Snoop from that perspective, and trying to basically assassinate Snoop's character, talking about these old war stories and acting as if he has information that he really doesn't have. Once again, the analogy for Snoop not owning Death Row and trying to get you to believe that that was true was an Eddie Murphy movie.
If y'all ever watch Eddie Murphy and Boomerang,
you see how preposterous this thing is. People can get on here and talk about anything, but not actually bring you any facts. When the fact of the matter is, Snoop just introduced to the world through his new wine brand, right? Death Row wine, right? Making power moves into the space of liquor and spirits and things of that nature, right? Also, he just dropped a new album, I Still Got It. Under what? Under Death Row. So what Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. wants you to believe is that Snoop is dropping music under Death Row, but doesn't really own it. He's somehow now, after his long, successful career, dropping music under Death Row, and he's just a front man. Once again, you can't make this up. I want you to understand where this is coming from. This is coming from jealousy. This is coming from Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. never accomplishing anything in his life and being a failure at everything that he's tried. Once again, he failed as a police officer. He failed as a drug dealer. He failed as a money launderer. He failed as the head of security for Death Row. These are all facts that I've proven to you in prior videos with documentation. And see, the crazy part about it is after everything happened involving Tupac, when Tupac fired Reggie and all of that, Snoop was still there. But Snoop really didn't want anything to do with Reggie. Nobody trusted him. So for all intents and purposes, when we sit down and we talk about this, there's this tinge of jealousy that's been going on. And therefore, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has been constantly trying to offer this defamatory or make defamatory statements in regards to Snoop to try to get you to dislike him. But then on the other hand, he attempts to try to then say that, well, Snoop is one of my favorite artists. You see the manipulation? You see the careful straddling of the fence? Once again, no proof. The only thing that was offered in reference to anything being said about Snoop not owning the new Death Row, in which Snoop does, is the fact and the comparison and analysis to an Eddie Murphy movie.
If y'all ever watch Eddie Murphy and Boomerang,
that's how crazy this is. You see, and so once you start to break down what's being done or what's, being attempted, if you will, right? And like I said, the intelligent people gonna get it. They're gonna get like, this guy has no Gullible John over at Bomb First, Live First, and Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. don't have any information. They're just spewing out rhetoric using Snoop's name to try to garner views, as if they know something by stating something in the title. But when you actually look behind the curtain, there's no substance, there's no proof, there's no information, there's no documentation. There's just an analogy to an Eddie Murphy movie as to the reason why Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. wants you to believe that Snoop doesn't actually own Death Row and he's a front man, despite just starting a new Death Row brand of wine, despite the fact of Snoop just releasing a new album under Death Row called I Still Got It. See, those concrete facts trumps speculation and innuendo every time. So that's the reason why I come to you and I bring you this information. Like I said, once again, Snoop has partnerships, relationships. You know what I mean? We see him doing television commercials and all of that. Super Bowl halftime, all of that, right? And then the power move of all power moves is to now own the label that introduced you to the world. But because of Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. wanting to be relevant, wanting to be known to be affiliated with Death Row, wanting people to think that he at one time ran Death Row, when in fact Suge Knight said in a deposition that he did not, and it was Michelle A. that ran Death Row. I get it. He was a middleman. He was a liaison. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But when you're now trying to convince the world that you were something that you weren't, right? And then at the same time trying to discredit and speak ill of the very person, if it wasn't for Snoop or Dr. Dre or Tupac, that you wouldn't even have been affiliated with Death Row from a security standpoint, in which Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. was a dismal failure. He was a dismal failure. And he still has not accepted responsibility for him failing Tupac in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. But yet has the audacity to open his mouth and try to offer defamatory and disparaging remarks in reference to Snoop, who's giving people jobs, who's helped the youngsters stay out of gangs, who's helped so many people try to get on, you know, and just is an all-around likable guy by most accounts. Family man, grandfather, you understand what I'm saying? And so now, once again, so this feeble attempt at Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and Gullible John over at Bomb First to try to discredit Snoop's legacy and his effectiveness as a businessman, right, has failed based on the truth that I just presented to you. Here's the article. Snoop Dogg's new wine brand, Death Row wine brand. He also has his own wine brand called Crimes, right? Also his own vodka, right? And like I said, so when you talk about that and once again, let me mention the new album that he released under Death Row. So now Snoop is releasing music under a label that he doesn't own. And he's just the front man. You know, some people will pee on you and tell you that it's raining. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. And so once again, that's why I felt like this video was necessary and for me to bring to you this information. Like I said, there's a lot of jealousy, a lot of hate, right? But one thing that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. cannot say is that he's been a success. But the one thing that Snoop can say is he's been a success in business, in music, as a family man, right? And he's holding down his situation like a man. And he does not need to dim anybody's light in order for him to shine. That's the difference. So I had to bring this to you because there's been so many videos made over at Bomb First in regards to Snoop, right? Who's a good brother. Like I said, most of the people you hear talk about Snoop, they give him love, right? And so therefore, the feeble attempt once again to try to discredit Snoop, it hasn't worked. And therefore, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is not a success. He's the dismal failure. And he's trying to point that one finger at somebody when there's the three fingers pointing back at him. And no matter how many things that he said about me, the lies he's told you about me, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. never met me, doesn't know me, period. But once I start exposing the lies, he then tried to attack me personally, in which he didn't know me personally. So it really didn't bother me. Right? But what he did not want you to understand and know is that Tupac didn't really fuck with him. As Tupac really didn't like him, Tupac fired him, right? And these are the facts. So whether it was jealousy of Tupac, whether it was jealousy of Suge, whether it was jealousy of Snoop, whether it was jealousy of Daz, right? That's who Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is. He's a jealous, vindictive individual who attempts to try to disparage people with this little minuscule, minute platform, right? Live First, which he doesn't own, but continues to get on the internet and YouTube and try to discourage you and speak ill of other successful black men who are handling their business. You got to be wary of that. You got to be wary of that. So like I said, once again, at the end of the day, Snoop is who he is. Right? I am who I am and you are who you are. But let no one speak ill of you by telling lies and offering up the fact that you are not something through an analogy of an Eddie Murphy movie.
If y'all ever watch Eddie Murphy and Boomerang,
your boy DELRAY, straight game.